Welcome into Hoop Stream, guys. We have a really good time on this show, if you can't tell. Money. Nick is like literally going, like he had a really good time watching that recap. Like,
Ryan and Jay-Z.
You better have some famous friends to talk about on this show for the next 30 minutes.
I wish.
Wendy set the bar. Wendy set the bar high.
Yeah.
He's talking about Jay-Z.
Maybe
He's talking about Weezy.
With y'all here, maybe I can make some new friends somewhere.
I don't know about
literally
that either.
just like, yeah, we hung out. Me and Jay-Z hung out.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, I'm sorry, Brian. You got to give us some more context here.
He's like, no.
No, he just basically
No.
so casual.
Yeah.
We love it. We love it for him. Okay, so G Money, Nick Friedell in the building. I'm Christine Williamson. Hello. Welcome into Hoop Streams. We're leading into Celtics Cavs. We have so much to talk about. We have to talk about, obviously KD is going to make his debut in Phoenix, which is a big topic of conversation. As I mentioned, we're going to get you ready for that Celtics Cavs game. But we're going to start with something else, guys.
Okay.
Because we have to start every single show, I feel like, with the king. And LeBron James is now in a walking boot.
Man, it's
Obviously,
not going with the
the
fit.
Lakers and LeBron fighting for their playoffs lives, and then this latest injury to him isn't going to help. So he injured his right foot on Sunday's win over the Mavs. When he was walking out, he had a little bit of a limp. People were like, oh, what's going on there? And now he's in a walking boot last night on the bench as the team lost to Memphis. So the Lakers are expected to reassess LeBron in 2 weeks. I'm going to ask you this, Nick. What the heck is going to happen with the Lakers? Are they still going to be able to sneak in? Sneak in is the operative word into the playoffs without LeBron.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't think they're good enough. Now, Christine, I was waiting for the cutaway shot of my boy Dave McMenamin crying in the corner. Because as I saw LeBron walking out, Anthony Davis didn't play tonight, no D'Lo. I'm going,
exactly.
Dave is sitting there going, oh, no. Oh.
The hell am I right about?
What am I going to do here?
my gosh.
I don't think that Lakers group has enough. And if you're taking that much talent off the group and you're trying to get these younger players and the new players mixing together in a couple of weeks when you have got to win games, that is not usually a recipe for things to work in a playoff race. So if I were betting on it right now, I think they're going to fade all the way out.
Yeah, G-Money, when we were off cam, you said the Lakers currently have no feet.
They just
Do you
no
expect
workable
to
feet
see-
and or ankles.
Do you expect to see them in the playoffs?
I don't. I mean, I don't, even if they had 2 of the 3 ankles that are in question, right? D'Lo out, AD out, LeBron out for who knows how long. And it's not like this is an injury that's October or November. We're into March now, 20 games left in the regular season. While everybody knows that it's just better for the sport if the Lakers are in the playoffs, I think deep down we want to see LeBron and the Lakers go, whether you are a LeBron hater and want to see him lose in the playoffs, or you're just like, this is good for basketball. But I'll tell you what, man, him walking in sans right shoe is not a good sign for things to come. Plus, the next 4 games they have are teams that they absolutely have to beat to jockey for that position because they're on the outside looking in.
Yeah, for sure. Let's take a look really quickly at the Lakers' numbers without LeBron this season. It's not looking too great. So without the King, LA's offensive rating would be the worst in the league, and their net rating is 4th worst. Okay, so LA dropped its game without LeBron last night. They're in action tonight against the Thunder. G-Money, you were mentioning the next 4 games, absolutely crucial for them. So let's take a look at the Lakers' schedule for the next 2 weeks.
Oof.
Okay, so looking at this, Nick,
That's
I mean,
brutal.
just hearing your response looking at it, where exactly are the wins going to come from?
Well, they're getting the Rockets. The Rockets are the worst team that
You're
there
saying
is.
there's a chance.
So I think they've got at least one
Right,
on there.
exactly.
Houston's terrible. After that, good luck.
Right.
I mean, if I'm Darvin Ham and I'm looking at this schedule and I'm looking at the day-to-day and I'm seeing LeBron in the boot, guys, this team doesn't have enough talent.
Right.
And they're playing against a bunch of teams that are really good, and they're always going to get up more for the Los Angeles Lakers, wherever that game is. So there are a lot of people around the league that would love to see the Lakers just fade away because nobody would want to see LeBron, AD healthy in a series. That is a rough stretch for them.
Not for nothing, but what's with the disrespect? OKC only getting 20-something% chance of beating them. They beat them the last time they played, and that's when LeBron broke the scoring record. So what do you mean? Like, coming out of the gates, 7 losses in a row until you get to that mid-March game against the Rockets. And then at that point, I don't know if the math is mathing at that point, but the Lakers could be so far outside of the playoff picture by that point. The Rockets get a gimme. I don't know.
Now anything's possible.
The one chance that they have.
Because isn't it when LeBron gets reevaluated, he's getting reevaluated in 2 weeks on the short side. So he might get reevaluated in 2 weeks, and they're like, we need that extra week, and then we'll reevaluate you in a week, and then all of a sudden the regular season's over.
And all of a sudden the Lakers have lost so many games, guys, that if you're the Lakers, what are you going to run him back out there for anyway?
Exactly. That would make sense. Now, when you look at what the Lakers, obviously they tried really hard, but they lost to Memphis, right, in the game last night. So obviously, as we know, as we mentioned at the top of the show, AD not in the game tonight. But when you think about AD, what exactly does he have to do to put this team on his back and at least try to help them get into the postseason?
Not miss games. Not miss games.
Got to be on the floor.
Due to injury. And, yeah, the stat line last night was nice. I think he was flirting with another 30-piece. But, I mean, if LeBron is going to be out and D'Lo is questionable these games, man, he's going to have to go for, high 30s every single night. He's going to have to be a facilitator. He's going to have to do it on the defensive end of the court. And that's just to start things. That's just to keep them in games.
Why should anybody believe that we see this Anthony Davis all the time?
Yeah.
He has proven over and over, y'all, that he can't be trusted to be out there. When he's on the floor, great. But why should anybody think that Anthony Davis, who we have seen struggle since the bubble, to be out there and dominate, is going to carry this team without LeBron when he can play and stay out there consistently? He just doesn't have the benefit of the doubt anymore. When you think Anthony Davis, you think of him sitting on the bench, not being able to be out there.
Right. So when you think about, obviously the Lakers were very frustrated in their loss last night, right? They also had 26 turnovers. Do you feel like the new additions to the Lakers team are going to be able to find a chemistry at all in the next 2 weeks?
They're going to try, but if you're Darvin Ham, you're throwing out lineups, guys, that nobody's ever really seen together before. I mean, they've had some nice moments with Vanderbilt. He's been a guy that you feel like can gain more trust in the rotations down the stretch. But D'Angelo Russell's another perfect example. When he's been out on the floor, he's had some really good nights. You know he can score. Do you trust D'Angelo Russell to carry you down the stretch to lock up a playoff seed?
Yeah.
This is not the type of atmosphere that younger teams and teams with new reserves can thrive in. So my answer would be hell no, because I don't look at the Lakers with no LeBron and with an inconsistent AD able to play, being able to carry all the way through and make up for all the difference of not having that chemistry built already.
Yeah, there's nothing I could add on that would make it more profound of a point. One thing I think we can all agree on is there is one particular guy who resides in the other locker room inside Crypto Arena that probably saw that 26 turnovers and was like, that's very interesting. None of those were my fault. I'm talking about Russell Westbrook, right? Like he's
getting blamed for other stuff now.
No, exactly. Like he was the antithesis of, all right, he is the disruptor. He is the one reason why we can't get into a flow on offense. And then yesterday, with that starting lineup that you're thinking is going to help out as a supporting cast, man, 26 turnovers, that's brutal.
Yeah, that is very tough. So 26 turnovers is brutal for that team. There was a rapper that also doubles as an NBA player that had...
Master P?
No. Not J. Cole either. Who absolutely went off in points this weekend. Take a look at this.
Damian Lillard. I forgot.
Dame has that look in his eye. He sure does. Dame, a deep one. Way out in the deep water.
I do the work, man. I do things the right way.
Right down the boulevard with a right-hand jam. He has put forth such an effort tonight. Damian Lillard with that runner. 71 points, a career high.
Okay, before we talk about his 71 points, I do want to ask you guys, because I mentioned the fact that Dame Dalla is a rapper also. What did you guys think? We haven't been around each other in like 2 weeks, G-Money. What did you think about his freestyle, the one that they did in the plane when they were delayed, et cetera, et cetera?
Damian Lillard has bars, and there's a reason that he got to perform at the All-Star Game halftime show. Maybe the budget was tight. I don't know, but they're like, hey, Dame, we're giving you the mic. Can you just go, can you drop a couple bars, and we'll keep it pushing? So, like, he has an entire mixtape, couple mixtapes.
Yeah.
He's legit.
Yeah.
Everybody around the league knows he is legit. on the floor, and he's legit with the mic.
Okay, I'll take it. Yeah, I thought it was bars too. Okay. All right, 71 points for Dame Dalla. So we've had time to process it now. Are you surprised? I think the biggest surprise is the fact that another player did this. Are you surprised at all that another player, obviously Donovan Mitchell also did this at one point in this season. Are you surprised that this happened twice in a season?
No, because the offensive outburst throughout the league is unlike anything we've seen right now. When you go to games, you're expecting somebody to go off, but part of this is there's nobody playing like serious defense all the time. And the other part is it was Houston. So, I don't want to take too much away from Dave.
Catching strays all night
kind of buried the lead on that one.
The Rockets are so bad. And they really don't care about the defensive thing. And they're praying for Big Vic out there in France. But no, I mean, when you are watching the NBA these days, you are watching a completely different league than the three of us grew up with.
Yeah.
You see the same guys run down the floor, shoot threes. The offensive talent in the league is on a different level than we've ever seen. But the rules allow, and when you're playing against a team that is that bad, you can see things that you haven't seen on a night-to-night much more than in the past.
Scoring is up ridiculous. I mean, this season alone is going to break the record of most 40-point games. There's been over, correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds crazy. Has there been over 100 different 40-point performances this season? I want to say it's something like that.
It wouldn't be that shocking if it is.
I want to say it's something ridiculous, and last week tied the all-time record.
Yeah.
We still have 20 games left, so the consistency and the level of scoring that we've seen is unlike anything else. I mean, teams are averaging 115 a night, 119 a night, 111 a night. So when you see teams not break the century mark, you're like, oh, wow, terrible night shooting.
Yeah, what the hell happened
very
to him?
often. Yeah, very often. Oh, wow, he only had 30. Whoa. So I'm not surprised that Dame's getting 71 because anybody, it seems like, can go out there and give you 40.
Okay, I like that you guys had both said what you guys just said because we were going to take a look at really fast where Damian Lillard's 71-point game lands him in the record books. This is the list of the most points in a single game in NBA history. Wilt, of course, at the top with 100 points.
Nobody
we all
playing
know
defense
that
on
photo.
Wilt.
Dame 71, I know, right? Dame 71 is good enough for 8th, tied with Donovan Mitchell, who achieved the feat that was earlier in January. So you guys mentioned how guys are making it rain, and we are seeing players score at a magnificent level as basketball evolves. So do you think we'll ever be able to see Wilt's record of 100 points be broken?
Next season, next week, hell, I don't know. I mean, just the way that people are getting to the cup. It's an offensive-friendly league, whether you're going to the line, whether you're going to get open looks. I mean, the game's just built to have it happen. It's inevitable. I mean, if it's going to be Luka, if it's going to be Devin. I mean, I think Luka is the first name that comes to mind who can probably go off for that. But you throw out 5 other names, it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever.
You know that guy right there, Mr. Curry, would love nothing more than to drop 101 before he gets out of here.
And he don't even have to try harder than the other guys. He can just sit back and cash.
Right. I think that's the coolest part to me, y'all. In this moment in time, when you see these big games coming, we saw it with Donovan Mitchell a couple months ago. We saw it with Dame the other night. Their teammates want nothing more than to get them the ball and get out of the way.
Yeah.
So with the way the league is structured and the way they want points to be popping up all over that scoreboard, I think that it will happen and Wilt's record will go down, but I think it'll happen in a couple more years as teams continue to evolve in the new era of this league.
But don't you think it's such a momentum play in any given game, right? Well, let's go back to LeBron's game, even though I think he only finished with 36. But like from the first 3 minutes of the game, everybody knew like LeBron this was gonna be something special. So like set plays and offenses be damned. They just got him the rock and like let him go. Same could be said sometimes, or when Donovan went for 71, or when Dave went for 71. That momentum and that energy sort of just like builds and builds. You're like, oh wow, we're about to see something special. So then feeding them the rock is even then more enhanced at that point. That's why I think, you feel something special happening and the guy's sitting at 30 and then he's at 40 and there's like, let's just keep getting him the ball. Didn't Luka have like a streak of, pushing 50 a couple consecutive games in a row because he was just feeling it? So we're saying the same thing, but yes, 100 points is going to get broken in a game.
Okay, that'll be very interesting to see. Something else that was interesting is Damian Lillard said something interesting happened to him after he scored the 71 points. Listen to this.
What was your reaction when you got drug tested?
I mean, honestly, I was like, are y'all serious? Like, I did the urine test yesterday, and then they backed it up with the blood draw tonight after the game. That's actually my first time in my career being tested after a game. And then aside from that, they know that I'm scared of needles. So I know I got a lot of tattoos, but when you're doing a blood draw, it's different than tattoos. But it brought me down from here to the floor all the way until it was done. And then once I finished it, I was like, all right, I got that out the way. So I felt way better afterwards.
Okay.
Are we surprised that he was hit with a urine test? No, I would be more concerned if the league was like, hey, we need a stool sample. And yeah, he has so many tattoos.
What?
I was shocked to find out. Listen, I went to the vet earlier tonight. I went to the vet before I got here. And yeah, they asked me for a stool sample. That's the only reason it's in my head. So listen, it doesn't shock me. Remember when A.J. Brown went off for a ridiculous amount, and like by the end of the game, a urine test was waiting for him in his locker room?
Yeah, it's weird.
These are random, though.
Okay, but like,
But not a stool sample.
Then you're gonna have to do some digging. Yeah, you're gonna have to do some digging why they would ask for that.
I don't want to do anything on that one. Nothing. Oh man.
We are just like killing Nick today.
I'm just saying.
I love this. Are
I'm just
you
saying.
picking, like, if you drop 71 points and then you get to your locker room and there's a cup for a urinalysis, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking, who's playing a joke on me, as I'm sure they are. But the whole thing was laughable, even before the stool sample. But it did remind me of my old Chicago days, y'all, because I covered Derrick Rose for all those years. Derrick hated needles. So they used to glue up his cuts because he didn't want to get stitches if he didn't have to. So just like Dame.
How do these guys get tattoos for real, though? Like, how do they get tattoos?
That sounds weird.
Which is just like, bzzz, and it strikes blood, but they're not okay with the...
Because with a needle, do you have tattoos?
I got 2 tattoos.
Oh, I didn't know that
That's
you might
right.
have
I'm
tattoos.
inked up, not a big
With
deal.
the needle, you're going into your body.
Yeah.
There's a long...
Which needle
more
we
you
talking
know,
about?
Gary.
Hey, which needle we talking about? Blood draw needle goes in, tattoo needle goes in.
Those are just like scratching the surface. But like the needle isn't as long. So I can understand. And then also some people don't like
away.
blood, like seeing the blood in a tube.
Yeah, that's true.
That's like a thing. People don't like it.
I think it's actually kind of cool
Okay.
when I get my blood drawn. Like, this is so dark.
Okay, so anyways, Dame Dollar has been scorching teams all season. So this is his highest scoring game so far this season. 71, 60, 50, 44, and 42. Do you guys know how many players have scored multiple 60-point games in the same season?
Multiple 60-point games in the same season?
Yes. It's only 3.
2. Oh.
Here's the list.
There it is.
So Harden, Kobe, Jordan, that's the list. Dame actually already did it once in the 2019-2020 season, but he did it again to join Elite Company, obviously, as the only players to accomplish this feat in the last 50 years. So, Nick, why does it feel like Dame, his name usually gets disrespected, not being mentioned when it comes to the best player in the league when he's in Elite Company?
This one is very easy. It's because he plays in Portland.
Exactly.
Oregon. If Dame Lillard played for the New York Knicks, the Los Angeles Lakers, the Chicago Bulls, everybody would sit there and click in every night and go, oh my gosh, this guy's incredible. He plays in Portland, where there is a loyal fan base, but it's not very large. Games are on late.
Yeah.
He's loyal to that team. He doesn't want to leave. I've talked to him about it. He wants to stay and be that guy in that town forever. And more power to Dame for making that choice. But the reason is very simple here. He plays in a place that the NBA world as a whole does not care about.
Yeah.
And if he played with one of the marquee teams, the narrative surrounding his career would be different.
Yeah, they're on an island. Same reason we call it Pac-12 after dark, right? More than half the country is asleep by the time those games get started, and then you're seeing the highlights the next day. I'm glad you actually said that, because I was thinking to myself, man, I better have a good answer. But that was my answer. So, so I'm glad it wasn't something like analytical or some deep dark secret in the NBA. I was like,
no, this one you don't need the extra glasses to see. He plays in Portland.
I'm glad
People are
you
watching.
said that one.
That's the problem.
Man, I love Dame though, and his loyalty to the city is unmatched.
Yeah, for sure. I love to see it. I can't believe that you said stool sample. I can't get over that. Anyways, you're watching Hoop Streams. We're live on Facebook.
It's a medical term.
YouTube and the ESPN app is where you get you ready for Cavs Celtics. That's at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. Jason Tatum, fresh off of an ejection in the Garden on Monday, looking to bounce back at home tonight. G-Money, did you like seeing the Knicks crowd give it to Tatum the other night?
I loved seeing the Knicks crowd give it to Tatum, and I also love seeing the Knicks crowd getting behind a team that has the second longest winning streak in the league.
Yeah.
Like, that's fantastic. Man, give me old school. I know there's like this whole thing, old school, new school, and da-da-da. You can't compare them. But, like, that just felt like old school, gritty, in the gutter. Yeah. Boston, New York, they hate each other. And I'm like, that's awesome.
A rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
Please bring them
That's
back.
The word. That's the word.
A rivalry.
That's the word.
It's not stool sample.
Stool sample, but you
rivalry. Bring them back, NBA. We miss them.
Still talking that,
that stool.
Yeah, they were talking that stool.
Oh, my gosh. We're never going to get over this joke, guys. I apologize for it. Anyways, so obviously NBA basketball gives us great moments every single night. So we're going to take a look at the greatest plays ever.
What?
This week.
Oh. I was like, that's
top
a high bar.
We start with Shaedon Sharpe. Last night's Blazers-Warriors game, and he just threw it down after Draymond.
You always know, not his teammates because they're in shock. You always know when you look over at the other bench, you see the two dudes pull up like, oh. When something like that happens and it gets everybody's attention on both sides, that's when you know you've broken through.
When the other team forgets that they were on the other team.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, this is Grizzlies Lakers. Gives in transition, and Jaren Jackson Jr. one-handed put back. Look at Ja. He's like, where am I?
Not for nothing. Jaren Jackson Jr. has the best nickname in the NBA, in the Block Panther.
I want to know what the hell was Anthony Davis doing there?
I don't know.
You got dunked on and now my face hurts? Like, what happened?
Let's talk a little Jimmy Buckets. Just when we think we've seen it all.
Gosh.
Spin, up, under, around JoJo.
That was nasty.
For the bucket. I mean.
That was nasty.
Can somebody explain to me why in the world the Sixers did not re-sign Jimmy and instead went to Tobias Harris?
They gave it to Toby, right?
I mean, what? Every time I watch that, I just think of Jimmy because he's so damn competitive going, yep, could have had it.
Would the Sixers have had a
look at this one, though.
by now?
Maybe.
JoJo, I mean, maybe if Joel Embiid does stuff like that.
I love Joel Embiid.
It didn't count, by the way. The
Post-game,
76ers still lost.
Yeah,
but
barely. 70-foot cash, and that would have, won the game, tied the game? Yeah, that would have tied the game.
Yeah.
But I love how Joel Embiid just gets it. He was like, yeah, that was cool for like social media and stuff for people to talk about on TikTok. Knowing that he lost the game, he's like, yeah, it sucks I lost the game, but like, at least it was cool video. At least it was cool video.
That's the tagline of his career now.
At least it was cool video.
That's another reality.
Paul George pulling his own Joel Embiid. He heaves it too late, sending the Clippers into OT.
How about PG having that moment himself too, admitting that like, yo, I'm not that guy. I need other guys to win a title. Like I'm not him.
I don't think we've ever. I mean, I feel like
PG
at one point
that.
we did. Yeah. We did think that JoJo was going to be that guy, and then obviously he knows himself now that he's not.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of long, pass half court shots, so that's obviously PG, and then Cody Zeller also did it.
Yeah, Cody Zeller's still in the league.
Cody Zeller. Actually, this is what he did. Pins Embiid. I don't know why there's so much Joel Embiid in this situation.
I just want us all to take a moment to acknowledge that Cody Zeller has made a top plays of the week montage.
Yeah, he sure did.
Because the odds on Cody Zeller ever making one of these things with Embiid and Paul George and Shaedon Sharpe,
if you got your
money impressive.
You got your money in on Zeller, then you're getting paid for sure. That's money. That's good money in.
I love that. Those are your greatest plays of the week.
Okay.
Ever. Or I don't know. I don't remember what we called it. Anyways, okay, so as we know, guys, a lot of things has happened in the last few weeks. We haven't seen Kevin Durant, though, step out on the court for the Suns, so it is going to be a big night tonight when he finally does so. So I'm going to ask you this, Nick. How do you think KD is going to look in his debut for the Suns tonight?
I think he's going to be great because, Christine, this is a guy who loves basketball at a level that I haven't seen superstars be at before. He wants to play basketball and talk basketball all the time. He is with a team in Devin Booker and Chris Paul who also love the game and want to be around the game all the time. There are not any distractions off of it. As much as Kevin loves and respects Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant is a human being. He saw what we all did over those few months in Brooklyn prior to the professional divorce. He was going, oh my gosh, we're dealing with all this other stuff. Now he goes to a team that's ready and built to win a title this year. And he's around a group that is confident that they can do it with him. I think he's going to be great in Phoenix, and I think this is a strong first step. Over the next few weeks, we're going to see a rebirth of Kevin Durant playing at an incredibly high level.
It feels like we haven't talked about Kevin Durant just like hooping, right?
Exactly.
For so long. I mean, there was that little stretch that the Nets were pretty hot before the divorce happened, but this is great. It feels way longer than 3 weeks since this trade went down. I mean, we have been building up to this moment and anticipating this moment, and they did the debut of that big three for so long, and I think it's going to mesh seamlessly. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Okay, so Nick, you mentioned this, the fact that the Suns believe that they can contend for a title. Are we a little premature in thinking that the Suns automatically, we haven't even seen them out there yet, are we premature in thinking that automatically this Suns team can contend for a title?
Yes.
What?
We are not premature to think that they can't find a way to make it happen over the next couple months because, y'all, Kevin Durant is still that good. He's still awesome. But Chris Paul, at this stage of his career, is what worries me. And when you're watching a Phoenix team, you know what you're getting from Booker if he's healthy. DeAndre Ayton has got to live under the basket and rebound and defend and be that guy for this group. You're not sure about Paul at this stage. Even more, you're not sure about the reserves after that starting lineup. With that in mind, I think everybody should just take a deep breath and see how they build their chemistry over the next couple months. I think Phoenix is going to be right there, but to just erase Denver and to just think, oh, well, Steph's coming back and Draymond's getting healthy and they're going to get Wiggins back and that team, they're going to have something to say as well. My pick would be Phoenix, but I think everybody should really be cautious and saying it's over, Kevin's going to be there, and they're going to be great.
I forgot about the west of the Western Conference because I was like, wait a minute.
Well, there's that one team.
And that other team. And that other team.
That other team over there.
Because I'm like, yo, this Suns team without Kevin Durant is 3 seasons removed from an NBA Finals, right? When Giannis took care of business. And, of course, their bench is far inferior compared to what it was back then. But, man, you got top 2 player in the entire planet right now on your team. So I don't think premature, all due respect, is the right word. I mean, I think that the expectations are right where they're at. Everybody expects them to win. Would it be disappointing? I think maybe that's how we should tee it up. Would it be disappointing if the Suns didn't make it to the NBA Finals? I think yes. Thereby, I think everybody expects them to get to the Finals.
This season it would be disappointing.
Oh, yes. Oh, for
I'd
sure.
add this, though, quickly. This team with Phoenix and Kevin at this stage, they better win this year.
Yeah,
because if they don't do it, and they are trying to find their way next year, and everygetting getting older, and you're unsure on Booker if he's going to be out there, they better do it right now.
Chris Paul's window looks like a postage stamp. I mean, it's getting tiny. It's getting tiny.
I do want to talk about KD a little bit because obviously Charles Barkley had said some comments about KD solidifying his spot amongst the greats. He has to win another title, specifically, obviously, in Phoenix, if he wants to solidify his place among the greats. Do you guys buy that narrative?
No matter what Kevin does at this point.
Yeah.
Either you love him and appreciate him for the player that he is. I think he is in a damned if he does, damned if he doesn't spot. Kevin Durant is one of the greatest scorers the game has ever seen. But it's also a fact that he joined one of the best teams that we've ever seen, and he won his 2 titles. He's now going to another loaded team and doing it. If he wins, people will find a way to discredit him for that. If he loses and they don't make it, people will crush him because they'll say, once again, You went to Brooklyn, it didn't work. You go to Phoenix, it doesn't work. And his legacy will always have that cloud over it by the people that want to get on him no matter what.
That's true.
Also, I love Chuck, but he said he's got to go do it by himself. Like, what does he mean? He's got to go to Houston? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got to go to Houston
Houston.
and win win it. No, but I'm saying like win a championship for the Rockets to like solidify or validate, him being great on his own. Because to your point, if the Suns win it this year, people will say, "Wow, Chris Paul not just was on the back nine of his career, but he was on like hole 17.
Yeah.
Third shot on hole 17. Yeah. So really, it was like KD and D Book with no bench and CP who was like riding off into the sunset. I think that's how people would have to see it in the immediacy, but I don't think that's how people would see it long term. They would just say, oh yeah, Kevin Durant won that championship with Devin Booker. And wasn't Chris Paul on that team? And then they had DeAndre Ayton, who was the number 1 overall pick. So yes, it's gonna be damned if you do, damned if you don't for Kevin Durant.
Well, we'll see what happens as he starts his reign in Phoenix tonight, and
no rain
of course,
in Phoenix.
Celtics.
Super dry.
I know it's a desert, so it doesn't
super
rain
dry
in Phoenix. So they needed Katie there. Also, Celtics Cavs happening right now on ESPN. If you're watching on the ESPN app, go on and sign in. Watch it right here. You don't even have to go anywhere, and we will see you guys.
Oh, we're done?
Yeah. It's time to go. Thanks for watching Hoop Stream, Scott. We'll see you later.
All right.
Stool samples. Don't do that.
It was a medical term, man.